It seems like the garden projects are never done. So we usually just pick a few and make them priority for the weekend. And this one is definitely a priority because it involves water dripping and we don't want to just waste our water and waste our money. We've got our drip irrigation set up down here, but I also have a hose. And every time I unwind the hose, it kind of pulls on the whole faucet drip irrigation setup and leaks. So I've asked Jerry if he could provide some type of support for under the faucet so we don't have that issue anymore. And the cool thing about Jerry is he's really a MacGyver. He has lots of things stashed away for repurposing, and it's always fun to see what he comes up with.
Let's go take a look at this and see what we can do to firm this up. I think that'll be really helpful for Kim, especially as the hose gets pulled and then things kind of just get loose and jiggy. So let's see what we got here. The first thing I want to see is how long of a post would we need back here, plus how much would need to go into the ground. So let's just see what we're talking about. All right, about 23 inches. The thought is we're going to put some type of wood or post underneath the spigots to support them, but also we're going to go into the ground here a little bit, and we're going to see what wood I have available, and I'm going to take you into the bat cave for the first time. I normally don't show this. Check it out. This is my extra wood supply. Let's see what we have here. I've got long pieces, short pieces, pressure treated wood, blocks, anything I may need to just handle any type of job almost. Old decking, some of our stained wood that we have left over from the fence. And let's see, we were looking for something about 23 inches, right? So this one here is 34. Oh, I like that. I'd like to go a little bit deeper here. Well, the spigot would go here, ground surface would be here, and this would be underground. It's almost as if somebody placed this wood here before this shot and wanted me to find this. So I think this will be perfect. Let's bring it on down, start digging the hole. I'm not going to be putting any Quikrete in the hole or any type of cement that way. I don't want to get that serious about this. Plus, if we ever relocate the spigot, we got to dig all that cement out, and I don't get paid enough for that. We got about 23 inches to surface, so we'll mark that here. This will be below ground, we'll put an X there. I've learned from experience taking a before photo just in case. Plus, I'm an Eagle Scout and that's how we roll. Let's put a mark where this post is gonna go. Get all this out of the way. Here we go, everyone. Moment of truth. Look at that. Here's my line. It's good. We're going to go ahead and close this work order out. I've been following CaliKim for a long time. I think I'll give her a good price on this one. See you on the next job. And while I'm here, does anybody know what's missing here on the CaliKim garden nook bench? This is going back a few months, quite a few months. Does anyone know what's missing on the garden nook bench? Well, if you guessed the words garden nook, you're absolutely correct. I never put the words across the bottom. Garden nook. So let's take care of that while we're here. Let's talk about the tools we're going to need for this job. Self-centering tape, very key when you're managing letters and you want to get them centered on your board. Paint marker, brown. This is what I did the CaliKim in. I think it looks pretty good. And a wood burning solder iron, for lack of a better word, but this one I didn't really work out too well. I didn't do it right, but I'm going to give it another shot again, and I'll probably kind of just cheat it along the way. The length of this piece of board is 47 3/4 inches, and the middle of 47 3/4 inches is 23 inches and 7/8. I love this measuring tape. Well, there's my mark, 23 and 7/8. So there's middle. We're going to do something like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Here's our center. So we're gonna start with Nook, one space over to the right. So I'm gonna just do a soft pencil. And I do want this to be a little bit bigger than the CaliKim. I want it to pop. I want you to know that you are in the garden nook. So I'm doing soft pencil where I'll come behind with the, I call it the wood burning. And I'm eyeballing this. It's not like I'm trying to sell it at a craft show. I'll make the corrections when I do it for Relios. Plus I know the pencil mark will fade over time, adding authenticity and value to the CaliKim workbench. I feel like that painter Bob guy. So I'm going to make the letter G for garden, because the garden is magical, just like your artwork. Now we're gonna go in for the burn. I might be doing this wrong, and if any of you feel led to tell me, you don't need to. If you hold it, just go slower, it burns in. I kind of gave up on the wood burning tool. It just, honestly, I think it made things worse. Maybe I wasn't doing it right or not, but I think we'll just leave this one where it is. Well, how are you gonna tell her to come look at it? I don't know, I think maybe I'll just say, hey, you might wanna come take a look at this. How about this? Lucy, I'm home. I don't know.
Well, it's the next day and I'm out here to check out the support for the drip irrigation, and also camera guy did some lettering on the garden nook. So let's check it out. So this is literally my very first look at this. I did not peek outside the window and did not look at anything while camera guy was doing it yesterday because I wanted to be surprised. Oh my goodness, I'm like almost choked up. This is so cool. I had no idea that he was gonna put the year our YouTube channel / garden was established. That is so cool. I love it. And I love that he took the time to do this for me. It just makes it so, so special. So this is really a special place for us now. And let's go over and take a look at the drip irrigation support. Wow, it looks pretty sturdy. I like it. I like it. It's gonna support this, the 4-channel, what's that thing called? It's gonna 3, 2, 1, action. It's gonna support this really well, and I don't think it will. Man, how did he get that so sturdy in the ground? It is not moving, it is not wiggling. I'm not gonna have any problems unwinding this hose and having the leakage that I did before. So really good job for camera guy. He is just so handy, and if he doesn't know how to do it, somehow, some way he figures it out, looks it up on YouTube. I mean, he was out here for a couple of hours yesterday, so I'm really happy with it. I'm so proud of him.
Well, we're back for a little more tree trimming action today. We have got to get this thing under control. I was just cutting too fast with the hand cutters, the clippers, and then I cut through a branch into my hand that was holding the branch. Oof. So we're gonna get this washed and then put a butterfly on it. I've never seen the inside of my hand like that. So we're hoping a butterfly.
Butterfly should do it. Yeah. Just wash it out.
Keep some pressure on it.
Yep.
Okay, we've got it cleaned out, and we are looking now to see if we can find some peroxide to clean it out with. Just going too fast. I was holding a branch with my left hand, just like this. You know, like this is the branch. I was holding it like that, and I was snipping through a branch and just got right. You know, just got the palm of my hand there. It's still coming out pretty good, but we've cleaned it.
Well, this is kind of teaching me to have our first aid supplies handy. We have no hydrogen peroxide, cannot find the butterfly bandages, so I think we need to get a little first aid kit restocked for under the kitchen sink or out in the garden. So what I'm going to do in a pinch, I'm going to drop a Dawn dish soap in here, Jerry. I don't think it's going to sting really. Sorry. I kind of want it to wash anything. Can you turn your hand to the side like this? Wash anything out that might have gotten in it.
I was just going too fast.
I know.
I was just going too fast because I like to try and work fast to be done fast. But also kind of sometimes when you're like elevated on something, like I was on the ladder, you kind of work faster because you want to get off that ladder that high, you know, that kind of thing. So it was a bit of a reach. I was kind of maxed out on like my reach, and that's not always good, but all of a sudden I felt the cut, and I knew, okay, I just got cut pretty good.
And Jerry was actually very calm. I was down below trimming some stuff, and he goes, Kim, can you come up here for a second? But I saw you had your hand, you know, with the paper towel, so I'm like, oh, I better get up there. Something happened.
Okay, we're back at it now. We're going to try and finish this off. I will definitely, though, keep an eye on the hand and just make sure I'm just going safe and slow. And I'm actually almost done. I mean, I was just kind of really going to town on this, and we'll see if I can just get this finished. Well, that's it. It's a done deal. And I think it looks really, really good. A lot more groomed, and I like that. The other thing, though, hand, bandage came off. Better go clean up right now, put a new one on, and just give it some general first aid.
Well, it's Saturday morning, and this is generally my day where I can get a lot done in the garden, so I'm always excited about it. And today is really nice because for the first weekend in, I don't know, maybe a month or so, it's going to be under 90 degrees, so it's just so much more pleasant out here. So much nicer to work when it's in the 80s rather than the 90s. So I have a few things I really want to accomplish this morning. First off is getting some of these greens planted that I've been holding off for quite some time because of the heat. I've got a little space right here next to my fence, and I love having just some greens planted along here so I can pop out here and pick some for salads. And this is endive right now. Endive is such a nice hardy green, and it really holds up well to salad. So that's one of my goals for today. The other thing that I'd really like to do as we go down the steps here is I do have some plants that I need to get moved from one spot in the garden to another spot. My eggplant I have in the chill zone, here in the chill zone garden bed, is just not really doing very well. I had this plant, I needed to put it somewhere. I had an empty spot here at the back of the chill zone garden bed. I just popped it in there, but it's just not getting enough sunlight. Actually, there is a tiny little baby eggplant on the bottom there. I just noticed that. But what I want to do is move it into the fountain planter, because we took that big sunflower out on last week's episode. So now that that space has opened up, the sunlight has opened up. I mean, trimming the trees is giving us a ton more sunlight in the fountain planter. That's what I want to do this morning. And I got to introduce you to Butter. This is our daughter's dog. She's a rescue. We're dog sitting her this weekend. It's really kind of fun to have a little pup around the garden again. She is absolutely full of energy, way more energy than Mac had. So she'll be running around the garden with me here today. It's going to be fun. Now, before I pull out the eggplant from the chill zone garden bed, I got to get this area ready. So first off, let's take out this big sunflower stalk. The rest of it we didn't get out last weekend. I'm actually going to save the seeds from these beans. These grew really nice here this year, but it wasn't really the right spot for them. In fact, there's some seeds still here in the garden bed. These are the rattlesnake beans. They're a pole bean. They do take up quite a bit of space. So I'm actually going to replant these in another area of the garden, not right here. They kind of shaded out their vegetables, and it just wasn't a good spot for them. So just going to kind of pull these weeds out. Oops, got some chives in here. Leave those in. Loosen up the soil a little bit. So I want to get it right here in the corner. I think it would be a really good spot for it. It would get plenty of sun. And then I want to add in definitely some more soil amendment. I really didn't amend that particular spot too well in the spring. I'm going to add in some of the bumper crop soil builder, just a couple of handfuls. Before we bring the eggplant over, grab some fertilizer. And since we do still have a couple more months of warm weather, really hoping I can get a couple of eggplant yet this season. I love eggplant. I haven't got one yet. Now let me just show you this orange eggplant actually right here. I'm really excited about this plant. It's growing very, very well, but not one single eggplant off it yet this year. However, like I've been telling you, we've had tons and tons of heat. So what I'm noticing now that it's cooled off, I've got a little tiny eggplant, and this is the Turkish orange. It's in my eggplant seed collection, so I'm really, really hoping. Oh, and some flowers here too. It's so exciting to be out here and discover what we've got going after the heat. So fingers crossed, wish me luck. we'll get some yet this season. How are your eggplant doing, by the way? So now that I've got the area prepared, the next job is to dig the eggplant here out of the soil. Now this can always be a little bit tricky, moving a plant, because you want to make sure you get a good amount of the roots and not destroy the roots in the process. So what I usually like to do is get a pretty good sized trowel here and just kind of dig around the edge of the plant, trying not to disturb other plants in the area or damage the drip irrigation. And I've obviously got a lot of bugs in here. So I'll definitely be spraying the Monterey Garden insect spray, which is really good for sucking or for chewing insects. Just kind of make little cuts here around the plant. Just kind of lift it up. Coming up really easily. This soil is nice and loose. All right, mission accomplished. I'm going to very carefully carry this over to the new planting hole. I think I got a pretty good amount of the roots. I don't think anything was damaged. Got all prepared, put a little extra fertilizer in there so the roots can kind of settle in. I think this is going to be a really good spot for it. I'm excited about it. What I am going to do though is go ahead and take these eggplant off. I do want all the energy to go into getting established here, not into the eggplant. So this one actually has a nice little purple sheen on it. So I think it'll be a nice edible eggplant. The one around the back though, I actually missed that. And I think it's kind of overripe. I'll show you what I mean here. I like to harvest my eggplant when it's nice and shiny, a really nice purple color. And I don't know if you can see this on camera, but can you see how this one's a little bit on the dull side? That means it's really past its prime. It's not going to be quite as flavorful. However, I am still going to cut those up for grilling this week, so I don't want to waste any garden harvest. And we'll kind of see the difference in the taste between the two. It'll be kind of be a fun taste test. Just going to trim it up a little bit here, give it a little bit of the Fish and Grow. Nice little dose of nitrogen. I don't want to trim all the leaves with holes. I'll trim some of them, but I do want to leave a good amount of leaves on so we'll get some good photosynthesis going here. Got my Fish and Grow in here. Nice soil drench with this stuff. Should really help it take off. Get the cage back on it, and I think we are all good to go on the eggplant. I just love the little quick wins like that at the beginning of the day. We had so many heavy duty projects to do the past couple of weekends. So this weekend, it's kind of nice just to, you know, do some light, fun stuff like actually planting things instead of big trimming projects. So next off is going to be the greens I'm going to plant here along the fence. Now I really love utilizing this small space. It's a very small space. It's only about, I'm going to say 18 inches across and maybe 5 foot long in each section, but it's enough to grow a little bit of greens. And you know what? I actually get a lot of production out of this area because it gets some kind of mid-morning sun and then afternoon shade. So it's really easy on the greens, and it's a perfect spot to put some endive and some other cool weather greens. Now this endive is actually planted from seed indoors on July the 20th. So it is way overdue. So it's definitely looking a little bit, I don't know what you want to call it, ratty, but it'll perk up. The only issue is here that I've got is I definitely have some bugs on this. So I have some bugs right here. See those? Aphids, maybe some kind of flea beetles even in there, something like that. So what I'm going to do first before I plant it is spray them off. Butter, how you doing there? Good girl, Butter. So I just got my hose down here, and what I like to do first before I spray anything, any, you know, pest sprays or anything like that, is just give it a nice little spray with water. What are you doing, Butter? Do you want some water? Want some water? All right, that's okay. Just give them a nice little spray of water. Hopefully it'll take the bugs off. If not, I'll have to come in here and spray it with like some takedown or something like that. Just go in here with a little bit of the bumper crop tomato and veg. Not going to do too much amending. Endive isn't too picky, so this should do it. Well, I decided to squeeze in one more job today, and that is to plant some seeds. I got to make use of that little space there along the fence. It is such a great little spot for greens. So Butter, you're going to be my little helper here while I plant my seeds. What I'm going to plant is some arugula. It grows so fast. There's a new variety in my fall garden seed collection I really like called Astro Arugula. And then this Garden Jewel greens mix is so cool. It's a mix of arugula and mustard greens. And since those are so fast growing, it's gonna be perfect little green to have in here. I'm really looking forward to having some of the cool weather greens again. Because of the heat, we just haven't had a lot of those this summer. We've had like the sorrel, the kale, and all that. But it's always nice to add a little bit of variety to the garden, don't you think? I mean, sometimes I kind of get bored with the same old stuff. So it's really nice to have a good variety of greens to kind of spice up our salads. I want to know, what greens are you adding to your garden at this time of the year to kind of change things up a little bit? That's always fun. Green Garden Jewel checked off the list. Astro arugula. It's called Astro for a reason. It grows so fast. These will be ready to harvest probably in like a month. Growing your greens is just so satisfying. It just kind of hits different when you've got your own in your garden. In fact, the other day, I was halfway through making a sandwich and I thought, you know what, something's missing. And I ran out to the garden right here and snipped some of that endive that was growing. And that was probably one of the best sandwiches ever. I just love doing that. Well, it really feels like a win getting these few things done today. I'm actually gonna take it easy a little bit today, not work quite so hard. Tonight we're going to a yacht rock concert. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm wondering, do any of you like yacht rock? We absolutely love it. It's really fun. We went to a concert a few months ago in San Diego and actually met one of our viewers there, so it was really fun. They were in the crowd and recognized us and walked up to us, and we had a really nice conversation. But it's really fun because it's generally people about our age, and we know all the songs. And that was the first concert we went to in San Diego, and we thought, you know what? Let's do it again. So we looked for a concert nearby, and there was one playing tonight. So we're gonna go, and it's gonna be a ton of fun. So what are you doing this weekend for fun? What are you getting done out in your garden? I'd really love to know. Drop me a comment below.
Just by way of update, I just want to let you all know that my hand is healing up nicely. Also, I want to take this time to tell you all, thank you very much for all of your support of our channel. Our views are up, our shares are up, our likes are up, and that's all because of you all. Thank you.
And thank you so much for commenting. We love reading them, and we really appreciate you being part of our garden family.
See you next time on the next
CaliKim
Uncut.
Sorry.